Gopal, shall we start or shall we wait? It's 8:11 now.
Okay, let me see who has joined.
We can start, right?
Yeah, we can start, but why so many less people?
Yeah.
Only four guys. I think we should start. We are already late.
Okay. Yes. Thanks, Gopal.
फोन कर दीजिए कहाँ है सर
Yes, Indra, we can start, Indra. Over to you. Indra, let's start. Hello, Indra. Are we audible to you?
Yes.
Oh, all right, sure. Thank you. So we'll wait only for 5 minutes, Indra, not more than that. So, all right, cool. Please start.
Gopal, who else left?
Yes, good morning. We should start.
Okay.
Looks like people are on leave today.
So give me 1 minute. I'm changing my internet connection.
Okay.
So we're still connected, right?
Yes, we are connected.
Okay, I've changed my, it was actually connected by cell phone.
Mhm. Start.
Good. I hope recording is started. Can you see
Yes,
any-
recording has started.
Okay, sure. So guys, any question for the previous sessions? We all set?
Indra, one question here.
Yeah.
So yesterday we were told to download Microsoft SQL Server. So
Mhm.
will MySQL Server also work, or we have to download specifically Microsoft SQL Server?
MySQL will also work, but the credential has to be given. But if a SQL Server, I have.
But I have it installed in my local machine.
Okay, then it's fine. If it
Yeah.
is SQL servers then local machine, then no issues. Localhost will work.
Yeah.
Because I have a sample data which talks about SQL Server scripts.
So I have that installed. So no need to install MS SQL Server, right?
The Studio, yes, no. If you say Studio management services are there, so you can at least do select query and all. Where do you go to install the data? So I'll show you. I have a sample data you can see here. So these
Screen
data,
is not shared.
can you come again?
Screen is not shared.
Yeah, I'll share it. I'll share it right away. Then we'll actually gonna load it, and then we're gonna use them. Okay, that's one. We'll definitely. I'll share it to you, and then we can take it. No other questions? Okay. So as discussed, today we're going to talk only about the data normalization. I'll give you some exercises to do today in terms of how you're going to create a new model. So same data you'll be creating in the relation model, and then again you'll be creating to a dimension model, right? So we understand what is data normalization, what are the different forms we have. So we also have to understand, apart from the normalization, what is denormalization, right? So how it works and what are the different modeling techniques are there, and so on. So you guys must have worked in the different databases altogether. You've been already working in industry for a long, so you must be knowing what is data normalization. People who do not know about data normalization, just to make them aware, it is a simplifying process of your data. So once you see a data which has been completely given to you and that is raw in nature, you have to figure out in terms of how to classify those data in order to look very informative, in order to maintain very simple, and in order to get more data, you can still come back and have your query done. So the best part is, in a simple term, normalization is actually putting your data in maximum pieces in order to get your data simple and short, right? As definition says, is the process of making smallest unit of information across multiple tables, which will reduce the data redundancy. So we do not want to go and produce a data redundancy, which is going to be duplicating of data. So you're not duplicating the data.
Is screen visible for everyone? For me, it's not.
No, it's not shared.
Okay.
Give me a second. I did share it earlier. No, okay, it went away. No worries. Now you're able to see them?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, apology. It's my mistake. So basically what we're trying to understand is data normalization is a process which helps you to go and cut all your information into small pieces in a different tables. So there would be a chances that you need to have your information being scattered in different tables. The reason being, I do not want to duplicate the data across the tables, right? And we're going to maintain a master and child relationship. Now, definitely you need to, in order to get the data, you need to go and do a joining. That's what the normalization does. When you have a data in different tables, you need to normalize them. And then you have to go and get the parent-child relationship in order to get the data. So that's a plus point. And especially when you go to system like ERP, which is huge in number, especially masters and lookups have been too much. So relation model is being very, very good, and that's all the production people have been using it. So you need to understand how the data normalization gonna work in order to achieve that, max use of your data, which should not be gets duplicated at all in a production. So looking at this data at the right side right now, if you can see what we're trying to achieve here is we have a courses and contents, right? So here saying programming, there are two different languages, Java and C++. And the other courses web, where we have HTML, PHP, and ASP. So if you see this particular data, what it actually talking about? It's talking about, hey, we have a data, 2 languages, 2 programmings, and 3 web pages trainings available. At the same time, they are very, I would say, not in a standard way. They are not in a proper way in terms of a data writing. They're not being precisely at one place. They are being actually using commas and other stuffs in order to read your data. You may have to write a program, and you have to correlate, HTML, PHP, and ASP with web, and Java and C++ with programming. So anyhow, we have to correlate in order to receive the data, and you have to process the data you want. So the best way is the first thing what we do, they're not actually a normal form, it is a normal form. Sorry. So they're not a normal form. To get into a normal form, the first thing which you to go and create is called primary key. So you want to make it uniquely identified kind of a keys, which helps you, your data independency of each row would be independent. They are not being duplicating at all. So having said that, programming is basically kind of a course category, right? Whereas the content is actually Java, C++, HTML, PHP, and ASP. Having said that, so if you'll have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, if you talk of 4, 5 rather, so the primary key is going to be different for each of the contents. We can also furtherly go and divide course category as a different, lookup table or a master table. So as of now, the first important part, wherever you go, you have to have a primary key. Now, you can see a lot of time you do not need a relationship into another table, right? But you still have a primary key. Why do you think this primary key is important? Is it only just to identify record independent or unique, or do you think something else is also needed? Question to you guys.
It is used for faster traversing of the data. Faster traversing of the data.
Okay, what else? So primary key has a definition.
Yeah, we are uniquely identifying every data, right? Every record.
That has been already told. That is the only purpose of primary key.
It can be used in other tables as a
Or joining with different tables also.
Correct. Done. What else?
Our query will be faster if you use primary key.
You're saying right answer. How? Tell me the reason behind.
Because it is unique and they are using indexing for primary key.
Yes, this cluster indexed.
Yeah, cluster index.
The most important part here is, one, data would be independent in nature. Second, is going to be faster because it has an implicit clustered index on a column. Everybody clear?
Yes.
So even you do primary key and you say, okay, let me do indexing also, not needed. The primary key have implicitly a clustered index on particular column or columns, right? You may have more than one column. So if you have more than one column as a unique or a primary key, what that column known as? What primary key we call?
Composite.
Composite, yes. So there's a multiple column treated as a primary key known as a composite. Now let's see that second form. So the first form, the first important aspect was to finding out on a primary key. Now, if you go with the second form, it actually says, you know, there should not be any dependency of any multiple column on a primary key. So something which is very important, and do you think you have to keep it in the first table itself and should be part of the first form, which is student name, for example, or student ID? That looks pretty, important. But how about the student projects? Now here you can see, even you can remove this student project or a project ID, makes a different table altogether. So what are the plus point you're having? So the first plus point you're having is you have a parent-child relationship, and you can have one student having multiple projects and multiple projects can have a different students. Right, so there's a kind of a relationship happening. We'll talk about a different relationship. It's one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many. So if you see student to project is going to be actually one-to-one, never be only many-to-many. Right, one student will correlated to one project. Right, but if you have one project and if you have, let's say, mapping table, which says, okay, student and project mapping, then you have students, different projects, different students. So that would be many-to-many relationship. But if you've been using at this stage, if you're looking at this design, student ID will have only one value at a time. Come on, help me out, guys. Am I correct?
Yes, it will be one-to-one relation.
Right, because they're in the same table, isn't it? Having them, there are two different tables like student and projects, and I have a third table introduced called mapped students or student projects mapping. Then we can talk about one student, multiple project, and multiple projects can have multiple students. That would be many-to-many relationship. Right?
Yes.
So the important aspect here is we need to understand what is prime attribute and what is non-prime attributes. So guys, from a business, analyst background, just to let you know, the data modeling is very, very important part. And you think, why do we need this for a Power BI? Then you pretty much big mistake. Data model, if you don't understand, then you're not go and able to make your dashboards, KPIs, scorecardings. So what data modeling we do in order to create this structure of a relational and dimension, despite that nature of data, you would go and import them into the Power BI, and then you have to go for relation and post that, which is very important as we discussed, is basically your what's called data modeling. Now there, data modeling is also important where you do a cleansing and data transformations. So they're also part of data modeling. Now here, the most important part is prime attributes are those attributes where you see it has to be attached with the primary key and they present in the same column. Right? Non-prime attribute is they are not too much of prime. I mean, they're not too much of very important that you have to keep it in the same table in order to achieve the data or the information. You can push it to the other table. Students' projects, students' addresses, right? Students' seminars. So those you can do that in different tables altogether, right? I hope making sense for you guys to understand, right? Second normal form is clear.
What I understand from second normal form is like we will have one primary key and whatever attributes are related to those primary key will be there, like student and student name. Plus we can have few more attributes which
Yes.
might not be related to the primary key.
Correct.
Am I right?
Yes. So mostly you have to find which is a prime attribute and which is a non-prime attribute. So if it is non-prime attribute, it should not be staying there. But yeah, there would be a relationship, as you know. So you need to have a kind of a parent-child relationship. Everybody's clear? Anybody who has any question? Okay, I'm taking to the yes. Third normal form. So you're saying third normal form works for every non-prime column. Table should be separated among a primary key. So now even importance of the, it's quite similar to the second, but it is more like more often there would be not too much of important if you keep it out from the city, from your table. So as I said, now these, so I'll tell you when sorry, when we started career and then we were doing a database modeling, normally you often see employee ID, employee name, address, right? Phone, city, and they will be in the same table.
Right.
Have you seen that?
Yes,
But
yes.
that's a mistake, isn't it? That was the biggest mistake. So I realized one day I went to my boss, they said, boss, why one address? A person can have multiple addresses. They said, what comes in your mind telling you? That's very simple. I'm from different state and I'm working here in different state. The current address which I'm staying, it's a temporary address. It never be my permanent address. So why do you normally ask two addresses on your form? Present address and permanent address. Why do you need them? So if it is in form, you need to, why are you putting in one address only? So then we realized, yes, there was a mistake. So we actually have started to have an address table separately. And we were joining with this employee ID, right? Now there was one more catch also. Address table can have only one phone number and one email ID. That is still a problem. Today we see you have multiple phones. So guys, how many phones you have number at your home? Maximum, guys. Who has maximum numbers? Just think over.
I have 4.
4.
3 to 4, everybody has 3.
I got 6.
Okay.
I got 3 kids, 2 husband, wife, but kids does not use them. Only my elder daughter, she's doing medical. She's a medical first year. So she takes a call in one phone. I got 2 of my numbers, 2 my wife's number, 1 is home number, and then kids. So it's like people have huge numbers. And I hope everybody's been doing the same as I did too, the moment Geo launched it, I also had the other number as a Geo, right? You guys did the same way?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
He was launching 3 months free or something like that. So anyway, so basically what I was coming to the point is we are actually using multiple phones here, right? So why don't we keep them in history, or why don't we keep them, multiple phones? So the people may ask me, Indra, how do you make sure which phone is being using? So I said, yes, use a primary phone. Then said, yes, that makes more sense. So I have 2 numbers where I make a primary phone. So I have one for only for my jobs and my personal, friends and families, and somebody who's very near to me, I give it to them. And one is official number, the entire world knows it. Make sense? You know why people does this way? So that the nonsense calls and unlimited calls does not come. Sir, I'm calling from HDFC Bank, please take a loan, which is everybody wants to avoid, right? So coming back to the point, third normal form is very much important. How much you create the pieces of your information is actually the third largest normal form. That's how we are talking about. Making sense, guys?
Yes.
So here in third normal form, all the attributes will depend on the primary key. Or everything is related in that table, in the
So
particular row.
they're not dependent on student ID though.
I mean, student, I would say student name.
Yes. So basically, all the data has to be related for one person. For example, you and me, we're an employee's information. City is important, but if you see, today in India, we are a little different than other world. We always search people by city address or city name. Okay, let's search Delhi mein. Let's search Bangalore mein. Right? We look like that always. But if you see, most of the time in abroad, people do not search by city, they search by zip code. And even India has started the pin codes, right? Why the pin code gives a good idea for your postal. Pin codes is very important. I don't know, in India, if you see a lot of websites, pin code, they're optional. Still I saw there's optional. But if you go abroad, you must have an experience that the pin code is the first important aspect. Without that, you can't even save it. Right? To understand pretty much more importantly that you need to figure out which kind of a data you will again take it out exactly from there for a third normal form. Now here there's no prime attributes and non-prime attributes. City is neither non-prime or not prime, definitely it is not prime. So even you don't have a city, still have a student information which you need it. So as I said, you have a zip code as a separate table, right? I may have a zip code and I may also have an address. So if you see logically, you should have city, state, I would say country and area. Should be separate masters. What do you suggest? You must have seen, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Especially the ERP system and other stuffs. So they would have all different because, so there's a two reason why people have city as a separate table, state and country and area as a separate table. Have you ever thought of? What is the reason behind that?
We can
For
map
auto
multiple
population.
students with the city.
For
Or
auto
multi-
population also, right? Say if one city is mapped to particular state and particular, say, whatever country.
That's a technical answer. I want a business answer.
Yeah, I mean, the user doesn't have to, your user won't be making mistake of mapping, say, Mumbai to, say, another Gujarat or something like that, right?
Or no, user not taking any mapping, right? Why should a user do that? It is that database developer.
Yeah, so he doesn't have to bother with it. He just has to mention whatever city is there, right?
Correct. But let's say I'm using your application. You created a website for me. Am I bothered about the this combination or relationship what you just mentioned?
No, you don't have to bother, but
I'm a business, no? I want a business answer. What you're saying is a technical answer. As a business, why do I get benefited rather? If you take number of table like city, zip, not zip, yeah, you can take zip also, but let's say talk about city, state, country, zip, all different. What is the business benefit? Technical benefit, you've been understood that. I want to know what is a business benefit.
We can filter out by city or state if we require.
You are 50% reach, 50% more.
We can calculate sales around means by segregation city and state.
Oh, this is okay, but filter is the actually
we can say like how many sales have been done for one particular state and all the cities of a particular state.
no, not exactly. So let me tell you a business benefit. If you do not give me a master, so I'll just elaborating what filters was concept is. If you do not have city as a separate field, I mean separate table, if you have to go and search, not filter, little more. If you do search, so I would write new space Delhi, somebody will write new.delhi, somebody will write ND. Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
So when I'm giving you a checkbox, a text box, you may type anything. Is it important, or is it like, is it necessary that what you type, I should also type the same, because we are in different locations? We may have different offices as well.
Right, right.
So if I say, if we have multiple students across India and abroad, if I search by a city, which is a text string search, will it be giving me all my stuffs?
No, because there will be another new combination by another student, which it will be mapping nightmare.
So
Once
is it
you-
not you losing a lot of data?
Yeah. Yes.
And the rightly said filter, I'm just expanding same filter word. So if you have search on a drop down, right? So technically you already said you've been maintaining the codes and relationship and so on. So if it is a search, am I getting all my exact results? Please help me out.
Yes.
So
Not
drop
down is giving. Yeah.
Mumbai, Calcutta, Bangalore. But drop down will have ID implicitly, which you don't see them, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
So when I say select Bangalore, Bangalore will have associated to some ID, isn't it? When I click Bangalore, it should go and see all the students sitting for the Bangalore. And the ID is passing from the drop down. Do you think it's a business benefit? Come on, help me out. So even you say sales, I agree. The sales, if it is in different floating or kind of a text where you go and type them, do you expect that you get all your current or correct result, both?
No,
No, yes.
no, we won't get correct information. There is good chance we won't.
So what do you think? If you're creating a city master and area master or country master or zone master, does it really helps you in order to get the correct results?
No, it doesn't mean, I mean, like you mentioned, we on UI itself, it should be a drop down so that we are restricting user selection, or we are
Yes, that is what I'm saying. That is definitely UI. But if you have this search standard, then you can expect a result standard, isn't it?
Correct. Yes.
And this is vice versa also. Not only search, even while user entering, let's say I'm a user, I may write Delhi space New Delhi space, I will write n.Delhi. A lot of people write new space Delhi. A lot of people write new hyphen Delhi. I myself say, so if I ask you to write New Delhi, trust me, in your team, everybody will be writing in different format. Do you agree?
Yes.
So in order to make it your business data standardization, you also need this third normal form. So third normal says that, boss, please go for a maximum number of split of your data and make a parent-child relationship. Purpose very simple. Number one, technically I want data to be related, master-child relationship, and business point of view, it should be more logical to enter the data as a standard format and also search the data as a standard format. Everybody clear with this? People from a business analyst
Actually,
background.
I'm not able to very much distinguish 2NF and 3NF. I mean, here I can understand key
The
will
2NF is very much important, that you have a primary key and find out a non-primary key.
Okay.
I mean, prime column. Now, city is never be prime column. City zip country. Let's say city zip country is not there. Can you still do that? Your logical information statistics report for the student.
So, can you come again? Sorry.
So I'm saying city is not there, for example, in your table. Does it very important? It has to be there in order to get your reporting done.
Yes, you will need city.
No, but how many reports, how many statistics based on city? Majorly, so even they are not there for time being, you still can do the analysis. Yes or no? student performance, right?
Right.
Students' projects, their results, those are important. But in order to get city, zip, or country, now if it is unless you go and do comparison and a broader study of a complete data set, then you need the city. Am I clear?
Yes.
So here, when you set
We are saying reports pertaining to the student, right? Like scorecards and all that.
yes. So
In
in the
that case,
second form, it is important to have you there, or you can put it in another table. But third normal form says, hang on, even you don't have, does not matter. But if you have it, make it more, you break it more. So here only I can see city and zip according to the current program is actually in 2. I can make it to 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. And here's no concept of prime or non-prime at all. Definitely city is not based on student name. City is the independent attribute, isn't it? But student name is not independent. Student name has a student ID. Roll number associated to that, right? Tell me yes or no.
Yes.
I can't say student ID one place and city, in city I'll put my student name. Is it possible?
No, definitely.
So there's a prime column, right? You can't remove them at all from the table. You can move only the non-prime, which is the next table. Now here, it is neither prime nor not prime, nothing. It is just additional field for you. So if you have to go for a student scorecard, just now you mentioned. So what do you need? You need city?
Yes, I mean, it will, no, don't require it, but
Now you can search by name, no?
yeah.
Logically, when you see, in India, we have a different way of searching. Here, if you have a, let's say you are talking about one school and have 50 students, so you search by either a student ID or by name. Tell me yes or no.
Yes, or mobile number or
Whatever it may be, which is very prime.
Correct.
But not by city. Until yes, you say, okay, I want to compare Delhi to Mumbai student, how they are actually studying. What is the percentage gap? So how many KPI would be like this, and how many KPI what you said in the just before than that?
Yeah, majority will be only referring
Understand. So I'm saying now student name you can't put in a different table, man. You have to be in the same table because that's a prime attribute. So net to net, you have to just figure out Desi Tarika. Desi Tarika is how much is being important in this column table. Baki you push it in the next table. Very simple.
Okay. 2 splits at least, right?
Fundamental. I'll tell you, give me a one-line statement.
Sorry.
The exercises will come soon shortly while we talk about this later on. Okay, let me show you one simple example and you're gonna help me out. So let me write myself a poor person in the world. Staying in Bangalore, India, and working with Dell Bangalore. Having 10,000 salary per month. Okay. And you can write, what is that? Working Dell, working as a principal architect. Okay, come on, help me out, guys. Now, this is the data you're getting from your HR. And HR says, yeah, I want to go and create an HRMS.
Oh, wrong information, Indra, definitely. Seeing the salary part, right?
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. No, HR will have salary, no?
Correct.
This is HR application, no? They will have it.
Yeah. Not
Somebody
saying.
has to know your complete details, sir. Within the employee won't, but you need to see your salary, isn't it? And HR is having HR and finance has complete detail of yours, man. You can't hide them. Salary नहीं चाहिए क्या?
इतना कम तो नहीं चाहिए ना, आप प्रिंसिपल आर्किटेक्ट हो।
मैंने बोला I'm a poor person, no. बस थोड़ा सा अभी वेट करो, उसको डॉलर किधर लगाऊं, आगे लगाऊं पीछे लगाऊं?
करेक्ट।
Okay. So just to give you a fair idea, let's do that. Let's do small exercises, then I'll help you out. So you guys have to give me everybody in the team. I think 8 people are there today also. Gopal is still people are missing. They don't like my lecture, I believe. People are bunking. They must be having some other calls. Anyway, so everybody, Gopal, Asmin, then you have Hershey and Rajesh. So you don't have 8 people, you have only 7 people because Lakshmi is also there. So guys, please help me out and give me how to do normalize the data. A data should be more. So what do you think we have to do? Let's do that normalization. Normalized form, or you can call stable form, informative form, whatever we call it. So let's do that. Go on, help me out.
We can start with employee name, employee address, designation.
What is the first form, sir?
It's one NF.
So employee name cannot be first form. What is the first form says?
You need to have one prime attribute and
Primary key.
Yeah.
So where is you going to name?
Yeah, so employee ID will be, yeah. Employee ID, employee name.
Employee name. Okay, can be in the same table. What is that? Date of birth, date of joining. What else? You keep in this table. So let's talk about MST employee. Okay, guys, very important. I should mention this before we go further. I don't know whether you like or whether you don't, but there would be a naming standard which you should follow with. Do you agree? Guys, am I clear what I'm saying?
Yes, we have standards.
Data modeling, naming standards. Right? So for example, if you have, for that matter, if you have table, master table, you have to write MST. If it's transaction table, you have a TXN. Here we go. So I may go for something like MST, TXN, BW, SP. Then yes, there will be a temp table as well, right? There will be a procedure view. Then we have sequence, SQ, right? So these are standard, and I'll talk about a little more in the standard in order to get your main connection done. Jackman and Togaev is a framework which gives you, better way of to do the enterprise modeling. So this is logical data model. We'll talk about it a little later. Standard theme, standard domain, talking more from a ER perspective. Yeah. See, I'm sorry. Table elements, tables, views, columns, keys, schemas, and then Oracle has a table spaces. So you may also look into it. How do we write a column, right? So a lot of time when I have to write a column here, you can see employee ID. Now employee ID may also be in different table in order to get the relationship. So what we can do is we can also say EMP or something like MST employee. A lot of people does it EMP or employee.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
It,
Chindra.
it talk.
I think it's a lot. Sorry. So my question is, I have put it EMPL. What is it?
Actually, we lost you.
Okay, no worries. So you see, I have put it EMPL extra. This was not there before, isn't it?
Yeah.
So why do we need them?
Immediately identify what this column is.
Mhm.
It's coming from which table actually.
Perfectly fine. Why do you need them? Where exactly they use?
When you write your SQL statements and you want to join your things, and you can identify what table I want to write. So in the join condition or in the select statement also. So it's quite helpful.
At the same time, when you're doing a same column comes to another table, you may get confused.
Right.
So this is the standard we do that. Then we have a view name, column name, keys, very most important. So we have a keys, so guys, you have to put your, we write PK for primary key, we write FK for foreign key, then you talk about unique constraints, right? Then we have IDX for index. So if it is primary key, write CPK. Normally we just write PK, don't write CPK. The CPK, let's not do that. You can do it that way. Then we have a null constraints. So you're using a null constraints is NC. Then you have a check constraint, right? CC. Making sense, guys? Unique constraints. So unique constraint is already done here.
What is SQ?
What's that?
SQ.
Sequence.
Okay.
Master table. You guys know before than that? How many guys are aware? How many guys are not? Please help me out.
Is the question? I didn't get.
How many guys are aware before?
This one.
Not all, only some.
Yeah, I was aware.
Procedure. Okay. Oracle has a sequence, auto generation number.
Oracle and Postgres has sequence, and MySQL and
SQL has
SQL have primary
increment.
incremental.
They call auto increment. Primary keys. Postgres haven't worked, so I don't know.
Yeah, I worked for around 4-5 years. It is better than MySQL at least.
I love Oracle, to be very honest. None of it can come near to the Oracle, even SQL Server. But now these days I'm getting money from SQL and Microsoft, so I have to say SQL Server is very good than Oracle because I don't have the other choice. Customers are paying for me. There we go. You want this list back to your chat window?
Yeah, please.
Can you explain what is check constraint?
Okay, so check
I never
constraint,
heard.
actually, no worries. So check constraint, let's say you have a revenue column, okay? A revenue column, if you don't want to get minus data at all, let's say I don't want to keep minus 100, right?
So unsigned one and unsigned and that one.
Which one?
Unsigned, we use unsigned as a column in the column definition.
No, that is fine, but a lot of time I don't go for negative values. So I'll do a check, right? Check revenue as a condition less than 0, then error.
We can do this same using unsigned. It
Yeah,
won't allow
unsigned.
negatives.
Yeah, but there's Oracle does not has unsigned.
Okay.
SQL also does not has unsigned.
It has, I think.
Yeah. So check is actually to validate your data. It enforces not to insert the data into the table at all. So primarily, if you see the logical way of thinking, it's like these has to have standard for two purposes. Number one, to make sure the data looks great. Number two, to enforce unwanted data. Make sense? FK, which is foreign key, which will help you not to create. If data is not available in master, it won't create a child. So you can see that PK here. Fine. PK underscore table name, FK and the table reference by this is what is having this kind of ID, which is a index table. Right? So you need to get into the write a database naming standard. So that we'll be able to get more. Make it a little bigger. See, constraints call underscore PK. That's what being writing in, right? Foreign key. So this is actually they have to make it. See, putting some name here, most important. So that's what we're talking about. Database name. So a lot of people have not written here, but you may also write DB and what is the business. So let's say you're going for it's a database, it's not a table. It's a big one, right? So it's a combination of tables. So you may go for finance for that matter, all the tables related to finance, or you write DB Fin. Make sense, guys? A lot of people does this way. How you guys are doing it? Do you create databases?
Not exactly.
Yes, I create them.
Okay.
Reading from past years.
Depending on the project's media. Okay. So good. So I hope you get a fair idea of why do we need this naming standard. Because if you have, let's say, if you're working for 5 tables is fine, my dear friends. But how about if you're working for 5,000 tables? I have seen my career maximum of 50,000 tables I work with. And it's a nightmare, honestly speaking. Sometimes if you like resign the job, go ahead. But you know, when you start your career, most of the people work in support, even I do the same. I don't know how your experience is. But in IT, when you start your career, they won't give you development, right? Most of the time. Being a fresher, they would put you in support. I've started first career in development, but then after a year or so, I wanted to switch, and that's why I got in support. But people say support is a stupid work, or oh, you're in support. Oh, come on, man. So they'll look you very nasty, local though. But trust me, support mein jo aap seekhte ho na, boss. The way you learn, the way you solve, the moment you go for a different approach to solve a problem, that is none of it. You can't get same thing in a development. How many guys agree? Come on, help me out. Nobody agrees? Support project, then a development project. How many guys did you work on support projects?
We are currently working in support.
So what do you think? Is it not the good approach when you go and solve anything? It's your approach or solving technique problems and methodology increases by day. And it's
But
not,
we come across same issue every day.
no, fine, but that's fine. But when you have a different, you have a different request, right? You have a change request or this and that is the coming in. Somebody else have written a code, you understand the code and then make changes, do impact analysis. It's not easy, my dear friend.
Yes.
Trust me, you write a code today and come after 3 months. Will you remember the same code?
Yes.
No, you won't remember. You again have to go through the read.
Yes.
Maybe your style is okay. You have the same style. You can remember. But you code and everything, nobody can do that, man. It's like volatile memory. You have to go and again you read through. Yeah, once maybe that question you're too brilliant, not like me. You read it at 10 line and you figure out. I have to read it at least for 25%, 30% in order for me to come back the same memory. Right? So if you're running in a support project, trust me, it helps you more towards approaching or solving problems, and not only the software line, also in your career. I have felt the same way in my current life. Okay. So we coming to the next level of discussion is denormalization. Now I want you guys to explain this. Any one of you. We had enough discussion for denormalizations before. Come on, help me out, guys.
In denormalization, we combine tables. Means we group all the data in a single table.
Okay. More guys. Guys, other people, I'm expecting more questions, more answers.
In this process, we are actually combining the related items or the related attributes in one table.
Mhm. If it comes to the benefit, what is the benefit?
Data is faster to query.
We get one view of the means we get one view from single table.
Mhm. So we avoid joins first of all, right? And we have same place to store all the data with the relative IDs together. But what is the benefit I do get from here? Those all are technical benefit, isn't it? What as a user I'm getting it? Come on, think from a two perspective. Whenever you talk about, whenever you think, so there's a two flip of a coin, head and tail, heads and tails. So you're saying this is technically good, no joins, staying together at one place, perfectly fine. How about being a user? You
You
have
can
an
query a single table and get the data.
user is not even worried about, isn't it? Why should an NSC user be worried about how you're producing a report to them? They're just worried about reports. What they worried about all the time? Come on, help me out. Being a user. Think logically. What a user is being worried about? Money?
The user will be worried about the accuracy of the report.
Okay, I agree.
Timing.
You got
Time.
50% more. Go ahead. You're in the right direction. You're going towards the target.
Whether
User
it
does
is
not have to-
relevant, whether it is showing up relevant information
accuracy.
pertaining to him.
That is accuracy.
User doesn't have to review multiple reports in different files.
No. Accuracy, I liked it. That's very important. What else user is bothered about? Think from a user point of view. You are a technical guy, but you're not doing business or project for yourself, man. It's a business user going to use them. They're the one who's funding us. So this project has to
Business
be.
problem is solved.
Come again?
Whatever business problem is there, that is being solved on. That is.
That is true, but I'm solving it, right? You're getting everything in one table.
It's also giving me a story, right? User story.
It's a one word answer, same like accuracy. Think from you're a customer, man. What you need more? One is accuracy. You want your data to be accurate. Come on, man. Speed, frequency.
Performance. Okay.
You want to wait for one report for 10 minutes? Will you?
No.
If I'm the one, I say, shut up. Go ahead. Go to hell. I don't need them.
Computation time.
Yes. This is not reducing in one table, isn't it? No joins, no. You fascinated all the data at one place and you bring your queries faster. What is the benefit out? The benefit is query performance, isn't it? You're using in data warehousing, not in the production data. The denormalization is data warehousing. Yes or no?
Yes.
Am I using in production?
Oh, no.
What is data warehousing then? Isn't we making for a query performance? Isn't we not making for databases? So query performance, so being a customer of NSC, what they're being actually more worried about is number one, which is the first thing and very important thing, is the accuracy. Right? And number two, how much time does it take to produce me a report on my screen? Beyond that, do you think a user is even worried about how the data is being written? Tell me.
No.
No. They may say, okay, I needed my data to store in Excel sheet or PDF. That is a different story. Even you give them, sir, only Excel sheet I can give you. Okay, fine. They're not worried about much. But yes, these two things they have been worrying in. Now, when it comes to the query performance, very simple concept, we go for a denormalization. Guys, thumb rule. If you want to go for production pieces into multiple information like normalization, that's thumb rule. Second, when you want to see them in a report, thumb rule to make a denormalization. Come on, help me out. Are we good to know what we're talking about now? Guys, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, give me a minute. I'll just grab a water. Okay. So whenever you want to go for a reporting purposes, the best practices is to go for a normalize or denormalize. Come on, help me out.
Denormalization.
Okay. So I was a small straightforward question. Let's talk about more from a standard perspective. We did speak about the naming convention. That is very important, isn't it? Right? Yes or no?
Yes, they are.
Okay. How about if we talk about design principles? Have you ever heard and know about what is design principles? And what do you understand by design principles? How many guys know about this concept?
No idea.
You know?
No.
Okay. Anybody else, guys? How many
No.
guys knows about best practices, industry best practices? Have you heard these names, these terminologies at least? Ever?
Yeah, I have heard.
Why they need a best practices? What it is?
Best practices.
The table structure should be in 3NF mostly.
No, forget about table structure. I'm not talking about database design. I'm talking about overall solutioning.
Okay.
Whether it's a denormalized or normalized. So if it is a data warehouse, it should be denormalized, as you know, right?
Yes.
So I just wanted to know a design structure. Give me 1 minute. Let me see my syllabus. What else I have been modeling? Yeah, good that I'm having that. Just keeping in mind that what's missing it. That's fine. Yeah, so we're talking about, have you ever come across design principles? Please help me out. So we call
No.
dimensional modeling design principle. I'll tell you, Google is best friend if you want to use them in a positive way. So even I also love them. Use it a lot. So I hope you have not heard them before. Principle of dimensional modeling, right? Or a design principle. You may go for a, you can write design principle. So there would be a standard. See, fact, dimension, attributes, dimension tables, identify. So this is what it is, man, I'm talking about. Steps for dimensional modeling. You know what is the steps? How you going to achieve them, right? So this is called design principle. How do you design your dimensional modeling? So I think we already spoke in dimensional modeling, but we'll again go and talk about dimensional modeling sooner. So, okay, so let's do one thing. Let's figure out dimension modeling, then we come back here. That makes sense, right? Guys, please help me out. Right? Let's talk about dimension modeling first more, and then we understand how to design. Making sense?
Yes, yes. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So I don't know whether these things are being important for you, but trust me, they are going to be important for entire life. It is not only for Power BI. So what we've been talking about for this is going to be 4th day of the class, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes.
So logically, a week we were already talking. And so these all things which are spoken, it is not only for Power BI at all. It is for complete, IT arena, I would say. Okay, so dimension modeling is a process where you define a denormalized table in order to get your data and returns the norms KPI, right? When I say the norms KPI, I mean the standard KPIs. It's a different meaning of saying that. But KPI, you understand, right? Key performance indicator. Why do we need reporting? First of all, have you ever come across and asked yourself? Okay, one small question. How many guys ask questions to yourself? We did in the child when we were actually small. But when you grow up, we think, okay, we are intelligent. Why should I ask myself or somebody else? How many guys ask questions to yourself, man? Come on, help me out. In the team.
Yes, sometimes too.
Sometimes, okay. I do daily to myself. Somehow it becomes a practice. And have you ever come across the question comes to you on how to find them? Because you have no dad, no mother, no father to come back and teach you all the time. So you read books, you go for white papers, best practices, design principles. Am I clear?
Right.
Or sometimes YouTube. You may get something from YouTube. So but it's like you get a lot of things recently in YouTube. So like you go and ask anything, you will find some similar video, not exactly what you're looking at, but yes, some fair idea. So dimensional modeling is basically totally depending on what business you're doing it and what is the KPI looking forward. And as I ask a question, why do we need a reporting database? You have a production database. What should be the answer?
So since in reporting database, we have denormalized form instead of.
No, my question is, what is when I ask a question, the first thing is look at the business aspects. Please answer me business aspects. Why do we need a reporting data warehouse? Why do I spend money on data warehousing?
Performance and accuracy.
What is that?
Performance and accuracy, speed and accuracy.
Performance and accuracy. I think we're getting it in production database too.
We don't want to overburden the production. The production system should be separate.
Okay, that is standard. That you're correctly saying it. But that's not my business case, isn't it? I said, why do I put money? Warehousing is money, right? You have to put money, servers, resources, developments. Okay. Come again. If you see anything, come back and ask you, what is the ROI, man? Gopal, you're asking me 25 CR or some CR to develop and set up a dimensional modeling or warehouse. Why should I give you? Is my question clear? What is the ROI towards data warehousing setup, resources, infrastructure, server, electricity, employee management, salary, blah, blah, blah.
It's more on the business insights what you get from.
Perfectly fine, man. Perfectly clear for you. Now you saying at the right thing at very end. So yes, how the ROI comes. Number one, a business insights. In order to, you actually said half. In order to make decisions, right?
Yeah.
Because if you do not make a decision, if you do not do a right move, why do we make decisions? Still is partial. You said right insights, right decision, but why do we need them? You'll say revenue growth के लिए sir पैसा कमाना है.
Yes, that is one thing. Secondly will be
strategy. Actually, tell me one thing. If I give you salary growth of 20% every year, are you gonna happy?
yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Give me a break. Guys, everybody, please help me out.
No, we will require both.
तो को 50% चाहिए क्या? He wants 50%. देख गोपाल भी है
I want 30.
6 months will be better.
See, this is not a dream. Actually, nothing happens that way. But yes, a company needs to be grow themselves, right? So there's a yearly strategy and they want to grow. Remember, we had a discussion with strategic and tactical, right? So why do want to make a decisions? Because they can make a decision in order to grow the company, right? The revenue, the breadth of the company. They can do expansion. They can go from new buying of a company. They can launch a new product. So everything depending on your what? Depending on your KPIs, reports. Now they cannot do with the production at all. As you said, I never want to do overburden. And that cannot do a kind of reporting what you've been doing in the mission model. No hierarchies. It is going to be XY, right? Like a more like a daily data to report type, DSR, daily sales report type. You got my point? More static data, not dynamic data. Tell me. Especially reporting. Data is dynamic anyhow. They are adding every seconds. Can my COE make a decision on the relational data? I mean the CFO or COE or whatever it may be, C level. Will they make it?
No, they don't do it. They do it on the dashboards, what they see.
Why they want to see dashboards? Have you ever come across?
It's a combined data. It gives
Perfectly
you all
fine.
the.
Perfectly fine. It gives you overall, So let me tell you, I'm a father of 3 kids and I'm running a house, having 3 cars, good job, lot of work. So how do I see my home? I would see my home, first of all, healthy. Then second thing is how financially strong I am. Third is how my kids are being studying. Fourth, how much saving I'm having. Fifth, what is my family plan? Sixth, what is my future growth? So am I not looking for an overall perspective rather than talk about individual items?
Yes.
Okay, give me a second, guys. Okay, so the important part here is when it's like a holistic picture of your all programs. Am I clear, guys? So I'll tell you 2 things very important in your career. I think this is as a senior, I would say, please understand whenever the problem comes to you, think what is the problem? Don't think for what is the solution. I'll tell you a lot of people, leave their jobs and they're not being successful because they're saying, what is the solution, man? How do we solve it? People are rushed to solving it. I take it little different than other people. I said, what is the problem? How the problem is coming? What is the root cause? Now, how do we solve? Everybody thinks over. Do you understand? So when the problem comes, think where is the business and what business is required in order to solve the problem. Don't go for technical solution, go for a business solution. I'll tell you very simple. I was in East West Bank 4 years back in Philippines, and they were having daily reports, and they used to send government report every day, 6 o'clock in the morning, and they would get penalized every day. They were taking 2 o'clock in the afternoon because they were doing Excel sheet. And they bloody have the data. They have a daily data. what I've done is I've not slept for 1 day, 1 night over the weekend. And I've created a small model, pushed a 3 days data or a daily data, rather the last 3 days data, and produced in the same time. And I saw early in the morning, 5:30, I had a video call from hotel to my CFO, and he was jumping over the chair. And I get the same solution report. Now, did I do a lot of development? I said, no, it's just a prototyping. And trust me, we got the project. So I was knew what is the problem. They are actually, there's a time issues. They want to do a lot of processing by manually. So I put it everything on programs, on ETL. And I did that. So they understand how the problem was solved. And trust me, he was so happy, given a lunch, and he also awarded us. So understand problem where it's coming out from business. And if you solve a business issue, whether you do it by a hook or crook, or whether you do it by a sample data, or taking complete data, does not matter. At least you should solve the problem first. Right, guys? So dimensional modeling is actually approach towards solving a problem. Am I clear?
Yes.
Tell me.
Yes.
So to be very honest, when it comes to the dimensional modeling, when it comes to the reporting data warehousing, I need to get my answers done when you're writing a data. And that is why dimensional modeling comes across, hierarchies comes in clause. You have attribute, surrogate key, you already saw yesterday, right? Isn't it? Make sense? So it's a design technique which supports data to be queried and get your improved performance. So think over from you have a production data and you have a data warehousing in place. So if you have data which you need to be queried and it's taking too long, as I said, speed, will you be happy? Will your management be happy? Help me out.
What was that question?
So if you have data and it's taking too long to run, will it be okay to you to show them, or you want to get it fast?
I would prefer to get it fast.
Right? So what should you do in order to get the fast data recovery?
We have to optimize. So we look at where we have this bottlenecks.
Okay, you're going to a support mode now. I'm still not even doing development.
Indexing of the table.
Come again?
Indexing on the tables.
No, you're going for technical 2 mode. I'm still in design mode. Guys, we're still in design mode. Think over. We are in design mode right now, not even development mode. So we'll talk about a design principle, isn't it? We'll talk about shortly. So we are actually in urge to start a warehouse, a modeling, and for that, what are the considerations should we take it? So
First will be the sources. What reporting system are we trying to make, and what will be the sources for it?
I'm talking about top to bottom. Right now, my question is, how do we perform better in order to show my dashboards to the customer? What do you think comes in your mind? Not technically, as a business perspective, what do you think?
What are the KPIs?
No? One word answer is called consolidation. Integrate, combined, storing at one place, centralized. So if you have a sales data and finance data, you've seen most of the time that you have a dashboard talking about sales and the product, and also talks about, revenue as what is the total item sold for a day, isn't it? Is it 2 different aspects of data? The root is same,
Yes.
coming from the same data mother, but 2 different kits.
Right.
Right? So how do you want to keep? The first important is knowing KPI is fine, but reaching at till KPI, you should have your data at one place, no?
Yeah.
Right. So that is how you think from now. You guys are still in design mode. Don't jump to a development mode. You guys are jumping to development mode. Primary key karenge, index karenge. No, not at all needed. See, if your analysis is so strong, trust me, your 99.9% your project gonna be success. And if you're rushing towards technology, 90% will be fail because you have not thought of before. You'll do the development, come back again, think, then development, come back again. No, don't do it. Do it thinking now. Right? Our approach to develop a dimensional modeling. Your dimensional modeling is like always be denormalized in nature. Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Are you not combining your data? Come on, look at the model. What is denormalized? You know that, right? We did speak about the benefits and drawbacks and everything. Product group, product category, and product item. What we're doing it?
Combining together.
It is still a decision, right? You're not done technically. Is it just a decision? Okay, let's do a denormalization. Yes or no?
Yes.
So that, what do you think? It is important to how to do a design and development, or it is important to do analysis first? Or you should put more time on the design, less time on development. What do you think? Where you stand for?
Ideally, design, if you can finalize, then you can.
Design कैसे होगा जब तक analysis नहीं करेंगे आप?
Correct. But analysis should be there.
अगर आप सोचते हैं while doing designing, I'll do analysis also and do keep doing it, then you'll be wasting time. No, sorry, nothing personal. Huh? Just giving your official understanding.
No.
I'm not pointing anybody's experiences here, so apology if you're feeling bad. I'm just very straight point, document mode and data warehousing. Nothing personal here, so don't take me wrong.
Yeah.
Right, you may have a different approaches to do that, and I respect that. I don't have offense at all. Even I have my own doing it. But the basic practices are very important in the industry. The first thing is you do analysis more. Very simple here. I have to go, let's say I'm planning to go to Shirdi. I have already booked my ticket on 6th, 7th of February. Now coronavirus everywhere is going on, even Shirdi also. Do I travel from Bangalore? Yes or no? It is every the deep thinking happening. Implementation will do it or not, that's different story. But first is analysis, right? COVID cases, our health, we were also positive last week. Now we got negative also. So this is all analysis, isn't it? That's more important than rather than implementation. Come on, correct? Tell me yes or no.
Yes.
Good. So basically what we're saying is we are talking about dimension modeling is important in order to get your return of investment, which my bosses have been putting money on my head, right? If I tell them, hey, I can give a report instantly wherever you need, wherever and whatever you need in terms of the revenues, top selling products, which sales guys are doing well, which product is not doing well, should we continue, should we remove? Is it not great for you? I said, yes, that's what I'm looking for. And hear me out. It's very important. This is what people are being using it because they're not technically like number one, and they are all business makers. I mean, decision makers. They would make a decision, right? And if sooner they found or finding it, this data warehousing is bullshit, पैसे बर्बाद हो रहे, time बर्बाद हो रहा है, they'll give you a call, hey, Gopal, stop it, man, I don't want. Sir, पैसा लग गया, no worries. I'll put it in expense, right? So most important part, how you approach. Okay, are you finding interesting or boring, man?
We are going good.
Okay, good. Okay, so dimensional modeling approach, at logical approach, we can use for physical forms such as relational and multi-dimensional databases. So the most important part is whether you go for a data warehouse, whether you go for a small data mart, or you go for a kind of a cube. Remember those things we already discussed before in I think previous discussions and sessions, right? Yes. Cube, warehouse, marts. Do you remember from day one? So which one to go? How do you decide then? Anybody?
There are many points, like it would be time to market, what we are trying to build. If you want to consolidate it from all the sections of the company, then we might go for the top to bottom. Or reporting system, just we want to just build a reporting system on one of the subject areas, we might go for data mart.
Yeah, but I have a different aspect of thinking. Everything depends on three things: data volume, data frequency, and report ask. Now, in three things, I'm not talking about technology at all, but you're talking technology. First, what is the data volume? If it is in petabyte, data mart will not solve that issues at all. You have to go for data warehouse, right? And if your report ask is ad hoc, what do? You know, ad hoc reporting, we did speak about a couple of days, I mean, yesterday also. If it is ad hoc reporting, right? Go ahead.
Kind of self-service reporting.
Yes. So basically, it is totally depends what the demand is, right? I can't have prefix ki mere ko yahi karna hai. I can't do that way, right? The movement is, so whenever the problem comes or any reporting databases needs to be created, or you have to go for a dashboarding, you may go and ask a couple of questions to your users or your business partners or your management. Then what is the data growth you have? How much data volume you're looking in the report, right? Who else is the user? How much time you want to frequently access? Are you looking for a live data? Is this question looks logical to you? What do you think?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Those will frame out. This is like a scoping your data. I mean, data warehouse, to be very honest. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, most important part, we have 4 steps for dimension modeling. Right? So now this is talking about a design principle, my dear friend, which was spoken before. Coming back to this place. So here you can see we have a couple of design principles. Elements of dimensional data model: fact, dimension, attributes, right? Fact table, dimension table. So you understand these 3 things. What are dimension? What are the attributes? What is the fact? I'm also saying dimension table and fact table. What is fact and fact table? What is dimension? Are they different? Are they different?
Dimension fact is a matrix, which is a numerical number which gives a value.
Yeah, measures, right?
Yeah, measures. And dimension is like what do you say? An identifier means for what this fact has been generated.
Okay, but how about the fact and fact table and the dimension?
So fact tables will be a complete transaction which provides us all the information, all the measures which are being carried for many of the dimensions when we put it together.
Very simple. One value versus a table.
Yes.
Correct? Fact is a measure, which is a one value, whereas a table is a combination of columns. Right? That's what we're talking about. Now, type of dimensions in data warehousing. We did speak about this yesterday, did we?
Yes, yes.
Right? So types of dimension: confirmed dimension. There's a lot of things: role-playing dimension, dimension to dimension, junk dimension, degenerate dimension. A few of them know, so you can go ahead and see them. Right? So how to define a dimension? That's also important. So fact, dimensions, who, where, what. So dimension gives you the context of looking your measures, right? How you want to see them better. Right? So steps of dimension modeling. So first important aspects. So giving an example, I'll definitely share you these, kind of, you'll do exercise today in order to do a dimension modeling and also relational modeling, because you have done the normal. How do you think and what do you think these data model, when you start doing when a pen and paper, you're not having technology at all, only whiteboard, and you and your team have been doing discussions. What are the things you discuss? What are the brainstorming you'll do? So Gopal, if you have given you one project in data warehousing, for example, what you going to do? How are you going to start?
We will first understand what is the process.
Process,
About the process means how
process,
process, what will be the data flow,
Data
what
flow.
will be the what will be the data sources available to us, what actual data we are having from the sources,
How you start.
identify.
This is how
Yeah.
you start, or you should start about what is the business challenges.
Mostly these business challenges are
Just
previously
talk about
done.
the way
Yeah.
around. So if I being you, first I think what is the business challenge customers facing, which I do the first thing. And then we talk about two aspects. Have you ever come across these two words? Probably it's going to be new for you guys, but I may gonna tell you a bit about this. Something called,
The business,
go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, but
Go ahead, go ahead.
the
No.
business challenges are mostly done by the pre-sales guys.
Okay, I agree and disagree too. So let me talk about we call two-step process. First step, I think you should also agree later on if you want to know that, something called as is study. Have you ever heard across?
Yes, we do that.
And the second step, tell me what should be if you do that. Well,
Identify all the requirements
to
from
be
the.
study. To be study. One
Yes.
is as a study. What is you have today? Another, what they want.
Yeah.
Right? So if I say step, I'm sorry, I'm taking you a little more like it is an advanced enterprise architecture to GAF process. We've been doing in a lot of banks for us. So if I say two-step process, would actually talk about something like the example would be, let's say, how do we take our gap? So the gap is 2 minus 1. Come on, help me out. Do you agree? Trust me, if you follow this rule in your career, when I started following it, I think 12 years, 14 years ago, I never seen back at all. I've been growing my career like anything. So first of all, you understand this methodology.
Mhm.
First step is as is study. What you have today, go and see them. Start from source system and all. We'll talk about it later. 2, what they want. So very simple English. What they have today, right? And what they want in future. Now, if I do 2 minus 1, will I get the actual development process or maybe analysis design process? Design steps, I would say. Am I
Mhm.
getting
Yes.
that? For
Yes.
example, you have today Excel sheet, right? And you might be going for all the charts and everything. That's very manual altogether. But I want to go and get my hierarchies and I want to see, my sales by product, by customer, by quarter, right? And I don't want to be fixed my report. I want to ad hoc myself. Is it not giving you an answer? Come on, help me out. So do you have a gap?
Yeah,
is the
definitely.
First of all, the gap is you want something like a KPI based reporting. Yes, no. Come on, help me out.
Yes.
Right? Because it's saying product, customer, quarter, and so on. So there would be a kind of a metric. They also say cross sell. I need to do a cross sell of my product.
Mhm.
Oh, now at this stage, Gopal, I'm not taking pen and paper. I'm not talking about technology at all, isn't it?
Mhm. Right.
So I just go and understand there. I'll do there's a 2-team works upon. When I go to a kind of this actually exercise is known as consulting. How many people have known about this? I worked a company called, you also heard, KPMG.
Yeah, KPMG. Capgemini.
I was in Kuwait, not Dubai. I was there for 6 months. And we worked for Kuwait National Petroleum Corporation, KNPC. And they were actually, BI guys, BI from Pakistan, and we were from India. So they were actually looking for a BI dashboarding. So this is what I came across. I said, hey, whatever you need is fine. So what happened? First, so do you think, where do you think these two teams should work and what kind of team you have? I'm giving a very practical example, guys. Please don't slip over. It's very important. And you're gonna live life completely on this. What do you think, Chinmay and Gopal? Do you think this example is good for you guys to understand?
Yes.
So where do you think this one and that one, where's the technical team works and where's the business people work?
Business people will be starting it from this as is, right?
Come again?
Then maybe the business team, which will be actually doing the consulting with the actual client, they
Yeah.
will be going there and understanding the flow, which will
Which
be the
step?
as is study.
Which step? You will,
First
where
step.
you stand? You've been technical. Stand here or here?
I mean, we as a team, I stand in both things. Like
No.
my
Absolutely.
first step is like the would be the first one where we
No,
actually
the both team works in parallel. They're not in sequence.
come again. Sorry.
These both teams works parallelly.
No. I mean, it depends like what flow we are
Okay, let
finalizing.
me tell
It
you
is
how
what-
KPMG works. How KPMG works. What we did. So we had a technical team here, right? Start from all my data plus business process. Sorry. Plus reporting plus data acquiring. Consumption layer plus existing architecture. Make sense? What else is needing, right? Also plus application. So have I covered most of the things? One thing is missing. Tell me. Right?
Okay.
Tell me, am I missing anything?
No, I think it covers all. But you are saying that this was done by your technical team
Yes.
instead of the
हम
business.
लोग करेंगे ना. What is the data Excel sheet में क्या reporting है? What is the business process you follow? क्या consumer layer है? How you getting the data to yourself? What is the current architecture? How's the application? How's the network access? What are the different portal you're using?
Documentation also would be there, no, right? In this part.
That is, so definitely we'll do
Okay.
it. This gap document is document, yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to see them, by the way? Just to give a fun?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sure.
आपको लग रहा है ये मजाक कर रहे हैं?
नहीं मजाक नहीं कर. We want to see the document. Let's how it is done.
I will show you. Remember me at the end. मेरे पास KPMG का नहीं है, मेरे पास East West Bank का है, चलेगा?
No issues.
So I have a gap document, a PPT of more than 100 plus pages. Okay, I'll show you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll show you one of them just to make you understand. So I'm just not kidding. I've did a lot of in my life. People don't understand whether I did or not. और मेरे boss से झगड़ा हो जाता है हर दूसरे दिन because of experience. Okay, so this is what now here this KPMG, actual KPMG guys comes. You know who are they? Oh my goodness. They have KPI guys. They know business is better than you, man. You know, oil and gases. How many KPIs they have? You'll go mad. They got more than 60,000 KPIs.
Oh my God.
और trust me, वो उसके पैसे खाते हैं. So if I go here, don't take me wrong, I'm not wasting time of yours, but I'm giving you best thing, KPIs. See? Can you see that? You, I don't know, KPMG will not be publishing outside. I have a doubt. ये दिया है रे, थोड़ा सा, but they are giving us their websites here. ठीक है? PVC and PwC, they also does the same. Right? You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So you two team is working. I hope I'm making sense, isn't it? Yes or no? Or I'm wasting time.
No, got it.
So one team, they are nothing to. I don't care about the KPIs here until we understand the data first. Right?
Mhm.
And these two teams, I'll tell you, हमारे मीटिंग में क्या मिलता था मुझे? कॉफी, right? और उनके मीटिंग में, don't tell me, 5-star hotel. Anyway, these are actually senior guys. They are head of Asia Pacific, and they would be partners of KPMG. You know who is the partner? He's like just next to the owner. So I used to talk to the partner in India, and he used to stay the same hotel next to him. So these guys are more KPI based. Who understand a business, they also do the reprocessing for them. Remember that business processes, reprocessing, re-engineering, we spoken, I think yesterday or sometime. So they have so much of knowledge that the client impressed because they knows better than them. And हमको लगता था they come, speak in English and go. But trust me, they have brilliant knowledge, and they are from, Grad from IIM and Oxford and all big shots. And what do you think a normal salaries for them? They are actually 5 crores, not below than that. Right? In Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, you hardly get a wine, and they get a wine in one call. Just imagine. Anyway, that's away from the business. Okay. So coming back to the point here, the 2-step. Step 1, what you have today, which is called as study. Step 2, what do you want to be? So that is what a KPI discussion comes. Am I clear, guys, everybody?
Yep.
Now, how do we reach out this? That, okay, there would be finalization of KPI, right? If let's say they have 100 KPI, I'll tell you one thing, what KPI does it? वो जाके 50 KPI और बेच के आते हैं. They sell it more. What happened? Now, what is the total number of KPI, man?
150.
It's always 100 है, 150 बेच दिया, 150 total. So they're charging for 50 more KPIs अलग से. Right? The project was KPI only, I'm telling you. So they sell it, so your scope is become bigger, isn't it? What you have been doing today, what you have to do, the scope is also 50 plus. Right? Yep. Now, once you have everything ready, now you tell me, now if you talk technical, making sense or not? अब आप बताओ, आपने बोला सोर्स सिस्टम स्टडी, अब करेंगे ना बाबा?
Yes.
अभी आपके पास धंधा रेडी है, right? So let me go back to my place. Where is that? Okay. Now, identify business processes, identify gain, level of data. Remember that? What is granularity? Day, year, month, week. Identify dimensions, identify fact, and build a star. I mean, star schema if you want. So select the business process. Why? Declare how much. Identify dimension 3. Identify what. Build the schema. Is it making sense now? Come on, guys. Do you want me to send this URL for you?
Yes. Do so.
So that was the first time I worked with this Singapore-based company called State Bridge. They're into actually Singapore and settled in Dubai as well. And the guy was actually ex-CFO of Standard Chartered. So his name was Sanjay Upal. He was working with me. He hired me from India. So they had only 6 people in his team, and they all are 18, 15 plus. Okay, for the banks. So this is what I was talking about. So the first process. So design is most important rather than your implementation. Do you agree now?
Yes.
I'll tell you other stuffs. You'll be, getting to know and can become a mad. I'm doing a discussion with my customer last August, 8th August 2021, and still the project is not started yet. Right? हम लोग daily discussion करते हैं, and we're in a top almost. We almost did. So the first process is select the business process, declare the grain, identify the dimension, and identify the fact. Correct? Phase 2, select the model. Right? You have a modeling data. How do we get your data understanding? What is the gain they have? How do you have to identify the dimensions, right? Dimensions means what? Like you have a product, you have a store, you have a customer, other dimensions. Making sense?
Yes.
So from each of the tables, we will identify.
Not just a table. Maybe here's the actually next step. You would see, remember that you did something here. What do? You had some discussion, right? Okay, first let me come back to the output and then I'll come back to you. KPI, and we have a BI roadmap. Then effort and estimate. Then software. Then license. I mean resources. Then project plan. Make sense? Everything based on what? Once you do this, BI project plan will roadmap will have ki kya karenge. We'll do a data modeling, and then we have then BI dashboard and so on. Right?
Right.
Now how do we achieve? Then this is what it is. We'll achieve it doing this. Now you said how do we get in order to start a table dekhenge? The answer is no. So remember guys, when you do the discussion with the team, what you do? Can you help me out? Let's say you're doing discussion to your source team. What you do? Simple, go and talk to them. Yes. So this is what you do, right?
We talk to them, definitely.
Okay.
Okay. So we try to understand what is the business process.
Yes, we do more than
one
thing.
That is the first thing.
No, we do record. We do record the things.
Yes, definitely.
With the permission. Right? Then we do a rough note. Do you guys do that?
Yes, we do.
And end of the day, होटल में वापस आके बियर और वाइन के साथ उसको फेयर करते हैं. Really fair comments. Is it making sense for you guys to understand? This is how the life people does it, man. We used to work 18 hours, 16 hours and staying in 5-star hotel, but no life except weekends. So we go early in the morning, 7:30 in the office, coming back by 6:30, 5:30. And then after 2 hours break, we work for till 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock. Sometimes we used to work in the pool itself. Laptop was there. So this is what we do. This is a daily discussion. And to answer your question, we also have something called application. Did we written somewhere? Application landscape. So we go by application, right? Yahan pe BI dashboard. Will you go by application or no?
Yes.
Otherwise, you'll have a lot of tables, right? You won't understand. So go by application. Even deliverables will be by application, my dear friend. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to data modeling, we're going to do that. So we have, let me tell you a category. First, we'll have a conceptual data model. Then we have a logical data model. We'll talk about more. And then we have a physical data model. Okay. And they all will be stored. I'll tell you what all these three sooner. Chalega?
Okay.
So do you find what we spoke just now for 2 hours or whatever time was? Do you think it's really looking logical to you? What do you think?
Yeah, it looks logical. These are the steps.
And I tell you, what is the project? The project was too big. More than 200 plus people were working, my friend. 2.5 billion of the project. And there was 10 companies were working together. I think 11 companies. You know, the biggest problem is, what do you think the biggest multi-vendor problem is? The ego clashes, which happens. You have to be very low in tempo. So that is the biggest issue. Otherwise, like I said, take it. Right. I hope I'm giving you a right, kind of aspects and my experiences too. So if you can remind me later on, I do have, not here in this, I would have somewhere else I kept it. So I'll show you later on. You do let me know if that is the one. Okay. How's it sounds, man? You okay so far?
Yes,
These
yes.
principles is important, 2-step process. And this 2-step process, if you have further really are interested to know about it, how it goes, because that's a standard you should follow. Baki to upar aapke upar hai. So something called TOGAF. Right? TOGAF, architecture. There we go. So I'm a TOGAF certified, guys.
Great.
But उससे पैसे नहीं बढ़ते हैं, just to let you know, huh?
But it has something.
It has everything, my dear friend. Trust me. I think I took a training and I was in Wipro 2003. I was called very life change हो गई, honestly. The way I'm thinking is different. मैं personal life में भी ऐसे ही सोचता हूँ, पहले देखना है क्या है और क्या करना है. This is 9.2, मैंने 9.0 किया है. See, okay. This is requirement management. This is an awesome one. Vision, business. So this is a 9 pillar, actually, to be very honest, 9 to 10 pillar. So what is vision? What is a business architecture today? Information system aata hai, technology, opportunity, solution, migration planning, implementation and governance and architecture. Right? And they got 4 pillars. Please take a time if you have a time to learn to graph as is and to be. Right, so there would be always be methods, they have artifacts and all. So you can say to graph 4 pillar. See? So they have a business, application, data and technology. Guys, have I touched everything? Come on, help me out. Guys, I'm not joking. Please don't take it otherwise. Come on, help out. Business ले लिया. ठीक है. Networking यहाँ पे एक और आएगा. IT networking guys. ठीक है. Infrastructure. Infra.
Yes.
So 4 pillar. Business. I've taken business. Application. I've taken applications. Yes, we have. Data. Yes.
Yeah.
And technology. Yes.
Not.
Spelling wrong. Right. Right. Am I doing something which you've never heard before, or you already know them before?
No, we have not done this. At least not me.
Enterprise architecture domains, business architecture, data architecture, applications, and so on. Trust me, this will live your life like anything. So आपको पहले business देखना है, how the data is coming in, application landscape क्या है, कितने applications हैं, और technology में क्या architecture है. ये 4 scope देख लिया तो everything is completed, isn't it?
Right.
Nothing, right?
Right.
So आपका as a study will be based on this. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Please take your time, and this is good. To read. This is for your personal growth. Nothing. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. It's up to you. So application, and they'll talk about everything here. Fine. So
Fine.
TOGAF and Zachman. Zachman is also one, but Zachman I have not done it. TOGAF I've done it.
Mhm.
So it actually changed your life the way you think. Okay. How do you solve a problem? And this is actually for consulting. Okay, my dear friend. But also for development, we use it. We create artifacts.
Yeah.
Good. So I think you may have some good time sooner once you see them in more detail. Trusting, it's very, very much interesting. I can keep talking for a while. Anyway, so how's everything so far? Looks okay to you? We started 12 minutes late, so we are here now till 12. You okay so far? Are we good? Then we come back from break and talk about more this schema type.
Yes, sir.
So do you think
Team-
this whole discussion which you're doing it is really getting benefited for the team, or do you think you guys also learning something? A new thing comes up and you're being should deploy to your current life as well? What do you think?
Yeah, some things are coming up. Something interesting.
Good, good, good. तो आज का कैसा रहा है पहले से बोरिंग है या फिर और इंटरेस्टिंग है?
It's getting interesting. Yeah, from the team, anyone, do you want to give your feedback?
Yeah, please, most welcome यार, कुछ भी दो यार, plus minus चलेगा, I'm happy. I'll increase.
Yeah, it is good for us.
Do you want me to
Yeah.
share my experiences or not? वो भी बता देना. You might feel यार ये boring है, बार-बार experience बताता है. So please be open. If you don't want to see that experiences, I can come back to only topic. But trust me, they're going to help you. This is what I've been teaching a lot of years so far. And as you said, मेरे को भी दिखाना. So I'll show you that, and you'll be happy to see that. And I've worked practically. I don't have a fair notes now. So I'll show you that PPT, right? Catch up.
Yes.
I'm gonna go and do my brush. I've not done it yet, so we'll catch up on that. Yeah, I was little late. I was working for detail. कल शाम में मैं और फिर रात में 2 बजे तक काम करना पड़ा है.
ओहो.
मैं बॉस को बोलूं मुझे प्रोजेक्ट से निकालो, कंपनी से निकालो, हंस के टाल देता है, निकालता ही नहीं मेरे को. So that's a problem. I'm the one who resigned 13 times in Wipro Technologies in history.
Oh.
13 times. बाद में मैंने बैकएंड से उधर बंदी से दोस्ती करके हटाना पड़ा मेरे को. So मुझे सिर्फ अभी तक एक ही कंपनी ने निकाला है, बट बाकी जगह मैं खुद से निकलने की कोशिश में. अभी यहाँ पे मैं पिछले 3 सालों से बोल रहा हूँ टेक मी आउट. So now I'm working for a big project called 1.8 billion, or that's a big data migration.
Okay.
And my current customer is also Visa, so I'm also leading these 2 projects. Trust me, 12 बजे के बाद शाम के 6-8 बजे तक मेरे को टाइम नहीं रहता. Good, guys, carry on. Have a good time. Have a break.
So when we meet?
Yeah, you go ahead and take a break. Yeah.
No. What time we meet? It's now 10:15.
15-20 minutes. Gonna be okay. Yeah.
So we meet at 10:30. 10:35.
I'll try my level best. I need to do a brush and then come back and do some breakfast and come back. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, team, please come back by 10:35.
Okay.
Hey guys, everybody back? Please let me know once you guys back.
Yeah, I am back.
Yeah, I am too.
Let other people get back.
Yeah, back.
Should we start? Chinmay, Gopal, should we start? Anybody's left? Tejas, Rohit, Rajesh, Harshal.
Yes, yes.
Where's the other people? None. I can't see a lot of people have been not coming. They'll come up only in Power BI. Looks like they come all in Power BI, huh? Gopal, you there? Chinmay, you there?
Yes, I'm there, Indra.
Gopal said किधर भाग गया?
And
Yeah, I just checked with him. Yeah.
There Jagriti and other people I can't see. Vidya, not see. I don't know. Okay, should we start now?
Yeah, I just checked with Gopal. I think you can start then.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Gopal is there. Hello, Gopal. Yeah.
Hey, Gopal, you there? Fine. So you saw what is the process in order to get the design of your model. So this is two-step process. Don't take it normal. It is very important. And this is completely world is following until unless you have better than this or, different than this. So this is what I follow. I've been following for a while. I've been more than 15 years, I believe. Then exhaustively I'm following for 1 decade, to be very honest. First 3 years, 4 years, I was not too much aware, but then after I've done. So please do this, understand this all area, do the KPI and then the gaps, and then you have to produce a gap document as well. In my case, it was PPT. Okay, now let's get into once you decide, okay, you have to go for data warehousing and stuff. So what are the different schemas available, right? What are the different schema types available where you can decide and how you can decide depending on your relational data, right? The first most very popular is star schema. Have you ever heard across, and I've been talking about since beginning, I believe. Are you guys with me? Star schema.
Yes, we are able to.
So star schema talks about fact at center surrounding by dimensions. Look at this picture very carefully. What it does say? It says, hey, it's a cells, and I'm getting data from item, time, branch, and location. So fact table says I'm going to take data all from different dimensions and will have also measures like dollar sold and unit sold, right? So actually, if you see, finance and sales go hands in hand, to be very honest. It's actually parallel. Unit sold is there, but what is the revenue I'm earning? What is the benefit I'm getting? It's always be a question. So star schema is the simplest version of the dimension model, I would say, where it follows very simple concept called denormalized data. So looking at your item table, just see that item table and location table. Is it combination of multiple tables? Look at that. Please help me out. Even for that matter, branch, except time.
Multiple tables, as in this will be it is their own separate table, right? Item table. And
It's a denormalized table, isn't it?
yeah, it is normalized.
So does it has a multiple table joining? That's my question.
Yes.
So item has, it's the brand, it has a supplier as well. It has a category which is type. Location has its own city, country, province or state, whatever we call. Branches also have a branch category which is type. So isn't we two different multiple tables are being combined together to in form of one table, a dimension table, that should say. Isn't it?
Yes.
So star schema is very simplest way to understand the model, and it's very simple to design, load the data to, and it's very good in order to get the report and responses, right? And trust me, this all table will have 3NF. We'll also have a primary key together and foreign key. So you can see these are arrows going on, right? The lines. Branch key, here the branch key is being using, item key coming in, timing coming in, location keys coming in. So these are foreign keys, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Question number 1. Design is fine. How do we load the data? Is it so simple? Straightforward? Easy?
No. We have to load each table individually and then create the fact table.
Oh, you can use parallel dimension as well. Yesterday we spoke, right? All dimensions are not being connected to each other. Location is not connected with item, neither time or branch.
Yeah, that's what I said. We have to load each table individually.
Yeah, we can use parallel. That's what my mean is. Individually means yes, you load it, but you can run all the jobs together at the same time. Right?
Yes.
All right. Now, having said that, you have a dimension table. Now, how about the fact? How do you load them? So as you know, the first you load is your lookups table, and then you have dimension table and the fact table. No, you don't have a lookup here, isn't it?
No.
Do you remember yesterday's discussion? Lookups, dimension, and fact. Right? So here you have a dimensions first and then the fact. How do you load the fact, by the way? What do you think? Or do you think we have a fact as different data than a dimension data, or you have a simple file coming all of the data? But I think Gopal, you mentioned you also have an ETL team, isn't it?
This is our ETL team.
So guys, come on, answer it. Come on, guys. I need result because you guys are on ETL side. How do we load fact? Could you wish to go and look the dimensions IDs before then loading a fact measures? Come on, speak up.
The dimension IDs are created on ETL side, right?
My question is, should you go and wish to check whether dimensions are available in the respective dimension tables, yes or no?
Yes.
Is it the first step to load the fact table? Yes. Now, when it comes to the dollar sold and unit sold, where are you getting from?
This will be in transaction.
Yeah, but is it is you get a transaction separate and master separate?
Yes, we do that.
No, are you sure? Your production gives everything separate.
Yeah, we get separate transaction file and masters also separately, because like for us monthly data is the transaction data which we are getting, and
okay,
masters is one which we're actually I mean most of the times we have separate CSV files for that, and based on that we create this dimensions also, dimension table.
Okay, good. So having said that, you got a transaction tables, right? Transaction data. Now that transaction data have fact and dimension both together, isn't it?
Yes, it does.
Tell us your experience and tell us what is going to be approach in order to load this dimension. I mean, the star schema right now, it looks like on your screen. Given a one file which you have a transactions, Master is separately being already loaded, though already said so. How are you going to load fact table? And trust me, this is what you're going to do in future. The moment you go for data warehousing, you have to create the schema and load the data. Are you guys doing it today? Are you using dimension modeling?
We are not using dimension modeling, but we want to use dimension modeling. It's like that.
Yes, so you guys have to really work upon. Now think about what I'm saying is, you have a transaction file which has a dimension, which has definitely I would not give you item ID, branch ID, location ID, and unit sold and dollar sold. Do I give you?
No. These keys you won't do. But
No.
no. But this dollar sold and unit sold would be part of the transaction. No?
Correct. So transaction also has a measures and dimensions together, isn't it?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. So what is the first thing you do? Would you go directly load the fact data, or would you go and see what are the dimensions available or not?
Yeah. What I think you will do is make join with the transaction and the dimension data.
No. You said you already have dimensions masters. You told me, right?
Right.
So go back to your statement. If you already have a masters in place, then IDs has to be the here, right? They should be having here, right? And remember, before the fact, I have loading my dimension table. So whatever dimensions are not available, you should definitely have created before you load the fact data, isn't it?
Right.
So you said you have a separate master and separate transaction. According to your statement, that your dimensions being already prior loaded than a fact table.
Yes.
So what you need to do is in a fact table, despite you also have an ID, isn't it? But for example, product ID. Are you going to load product ID on your fact table? Is it correct? I'm saying it's wrong.
Product ID. In fact,
Yeah.
here in this case, we don't have, we don't require it, right? Because
let's say item key, right? Item key. It's still wrong. This model is wrong. I can say 100% wrong. Don't you think it's wrong? Tell me yes or no.
Not sure actually.
Where's the primary surrogate key, sir?
Right, correct. Surrogate key will be needing.
You will change your data product, right? Your dimension over the time. Yesterday we spoken very widely, did we?
Right.
So that's a powerful concept. You can't forget them. So item table is not having surrogate key. No historical, nothing.
Right.
No active flag. It's bullshit. This design is completely scrap. Right? These are older design, which has happened in 90s and 2000s. 10 years to tell us old story.
Okay.
Right? How do I make sure that which date you put it a data? Can you make sure from here? Can I get a log from this? The answer is no.
No.
I don't have audit control. So today life is different, sir. There are a lot of product being selling audit logs. Have you come across Google Analytics? Have you know them?
Yes.
What they do?
They track each visit from which country, for what time they were there.
Okay, that's not tracking. They call event log. Tracking is what you think, but they are not tracking anything. They're taking your event logs and they're doing a publishing on the dashboards. That's it.
Yes.
They not track you. Why they want to track you? But yes, they sometimes you see they can give you advertisement whatever you ask, according to your where you go, the location and all. The moment you do query, they keep it in event log. Fine. So there are a lot of things are missing from here. This is what I think as a solution architect. I said this is a bullshit, but this is in a start schema just to give a fair idea. This is how it should look like. So my question back to you. If I go ahead and where is my Excel sheet? Take my data sheet for a go. Yeah, this is my data. Check it out. That is how the cells and measures together, right?
Yes.
If you have to load that, what should be the approach? Come on, let me go ahead. See, this is date dimension. This is date dimension. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
January data and February data. Forget about it. Then you got some reasons, right? Which you've been already using here, right? These are the reasons. Make sense? So what is the approach here? If you have to load this data to your data model, what you should do? Should you wish to segregate the data, number one?
Yes, first we'll create dimension tables. No?
Perfectly fine. Go ahead. That's what I want. I want to get started for you guys. So you want dimensions. How many dimensions looks like here? Guys, this is a practical. Go ahead and push it.
Employee is there.
Okay.
Region.
Employees. Sorry. And
Region.
anything else?
Region.
Sorry. What else? Okay, no worries. Employee has how many columns? Just to give a fair idea.
First name, last name, and code.
4 columns.
Employee ID भी है here. It's also employee ID here. Okay. And then, having said that, how do I get this sales? So sales will be fact. Are we talking about fact, guys?
Yes, yes.
Come on. Is that we have? Help me out, please, quickly. Are we good?
Sales, no, total sales.
So that's the measure, right? Now, can you tell me there's a 3 kind of measure type? Which is this? Yesterday we spoke, right?
It will be additive, right?
Additive.
All using employees region and.
So do you understand how you make a design out of your data? A dimensional model. You're doing dimensional modeling, right? Is that give a fair idea, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So can we actually create similar to this, Indra, that the one which you have shown, the star schema, actual one, so we can get a better idea also.
Yeah, I would. So star schema, what you see there, it is correct. Only few things is missing, which I'll just tell you right away.
Surrogate key you mentioned, right?
Surrogate key, audit control, solely changing dimensions, those are not there. Fine. Star schema should look like this only. They have a dimension in fact, but the attributes are being missing. Anyway, we'll come back to that. But do you understand this? Is it a right process for doing it? Are you missing anything? Still something?
Separated fact table.
You missing something here? Something here? Boss.
Okay.
What is level and what is hierarchies? Levels, within the levels becomes hierarchy later on, right? Year, quarter, month. What else we're missing? We're missing biggest thing, buddy. KPI. What we're looking for? Right?
Total, yeah. Total sales.
This is 2B. 2B. Sales is just a value for you, right? I can go for anything. I can go for percentage. I can go for calculations. Product wise, reason wise, date wise, sales, trend, first quarter, next quarter. What are you looking for, man? Right? So looking at data, are you able to understand? Since we now went ahead and made a small data model. right? But this is only a data draw run. It is not a model actually. You need to go and create them. That exercise I'm going to give you right away after this discussion. So you understood, right? Guys, everybody, ETL team, most important for you. If you're not clear here, then Power BI will not be really giving you better use. Power BI is just displaying, nothing else. Clear or not clear?
Yes, yeah, clear.
Good. The next level is called Snowflake. So if you can see here, it is more like a relational model type. Can you see that? Multiple. So here you have a supplier, here you have a city. Can you see that? So what they call, is it dimension?
Yes, these are dimensions.
No. Remember what is it I said? Do you recall what type of table is this? Come on, recall. Lookup tables.
Okay.
Fine. You can have your slowly changing dimension, start date, end date, active flag, but that's not the dimension. So without supplier, can't be able to see the sales and the statistics. Do you need supplier or you need customer? What do you need more?
Customer.
So location. If I have already zone wise, region wise, until we go very specific to one state or state, you don't need them. So they are not dimension, they are lookups. So dimensions actually hooking at that lookup table. Okay. I would also tell you the tool which has been most popular for Snowflake software BI development is called MicroStrategy and Oracle BI. Am I clear? They won't use star schema. They are very good star schemas, but they are excellent working in Snowflake. Now you're also thinking it is all joined. They all are binary joins. They're perfectly fine. They index internally. But they use your database, huh? Be careful. वो तो सिर्फ एक सॉफ्टवेयर है, ठीक है? So brilliant people like you and me decide that. So one day I was giving interview to ClickView, Delhi. I haven't selected, honestly speaking. I'm very true on that. मैं कभी झूठ नहीं बोलता. So last day I did all my clear. At the last stage, I was giving my pre-sales interview in Gurgaon. And he said, Indra, if you ClickView is an in-memory software and you have only 2 GB memory, what do you do? मैंने बोला सर I'll go and ask my management to increase the RAM. उसने मुझे निकाल दिया कंपनी से. What should be the right answer?
No idea.
Any thought? बाद में मैंने उनसे पूछा था what is the right answer? He said you can't use ClickView. You can't afford that because ClickView is in memory PI2. And I came out and I was crying. What is the hell? I knew it. But see, this is how you represent. And I was very good and fantastic in presentation and I got my technical done and everything. But he said, you're not too good in ClickView. Go back and understand what ClickView is. So same thing is, if you understand a model pretty well, nobody can hiccup. Here, Snowflake is, if you have a relational model and quickly you have to develop a BI, which one you should go for? Come on, help me out quickly. Team. If you have a relational model, which model will help you to get into a dimensional model here? Is it Star or Snowflake?
Snowflake.
Snowflake. So you can
Yes.
still have product group, product category, and product item, and followed by item ID goes with the fact table. Come on, hear me out clearly. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yep.
still is gonna be dimension model, but the idea is a snowflake. And the last, not the least, is called fact constellation schema. We call multi-fact schema. So you can see here we have two facts, isn't it? How many facts we have?
2.
Shipping and sales. Location. Is it they're looking for a composite or you know kind of a what dimension we call?
Confirmed dimension.
Confirmed dimension. Good. So it's a confirmed dimension, but it is multiple sales. I mean multiple fact. You always need them, right? Isn't it?
Yep.
A lot of time you see this. Okay, now you please come back and understand the star snowflake comparison. Very, very important. And it's being actually blood of your body. So star schema, isn't it very easier for looking and doing a query, but for loading, little tough. Snowflake is more easier, right? As it is, we can use it. Yes or no?
Yes.
But the problem is understandability. Multiple tables you need to understand. Here you don't, isn't it? Because it's a denormalized, this is normalized. Perfect answer, understood? Right?
Right.
So here, dimension table, only one dimension table for each dimension that groups related attributes. Dimension tables are not in the third normal form. Am I clear? It is denormalized, right? In star schema. It cannot be third normal form.
Yes, yes.
If it is third normal form, then it goes to your star schema, I mean snowflake schema. The query is very simple and easy to understand. Here more complex because of giant. High performance database engine can be optimized and boast the query performance based on the predictable framework or partitioning and so on. Though we can do the same thing in here, but here because of a lot of foreign joins, it may take longer. Right? When to use dimension table scores relatively small number of rows, which is not big issue when we start star schema. So if the data is very small, you should go for star schema, even a big. But if it is a big data, go for summary data, not detailed data. Guys, you understand, right? Summary data and detailed data now.
Yes.
Everybody?
Yes.
Okay. When dimension tables are pretty large in rows and data is being redundant, you can go ahead. If you don't want to do a kind of rows to be duplicated and all, then you go for a snowflake. Foreign key, better which is higher, which is lower. System work best for data warehousing, data mart, and this is better for small data warehouse. So there's a different ways of doing it. Now, when to use what is you guys have to decide. So what do you think? You would probably go for star schema or snowflake in your model if you go ahead and create that, Gopal and team.
Star schema.
I think it depends on application to application. It can vary from application to application. Depending on size of the application.
So you know application better than me, sir. You have to tell me which one and why in order to see your application's need. You know the application, isn't it?
When we have multiple dimension tables at that time, we use snowflake schema. Other than that, we use star schema.
Right, but I'm asking, how about your NSCIT data? Which application? Gopal, you said, right, you may have to go and create them, Chinmay, you just mentioned.
Yes, yes.
Which one would you like to go ahead and create and why? So I've given you differences and make you understand or understood. Which one do you think? What kind of reporting you're looking for? That also depends, right?
So our data is huge, basically. Data. So like
What is the volume?
So right now we have reporting maybe around say 1 to 2 TB data would be there.
Small.
And yeah, so that is
Small.
one thing. So for as per that, I think the star schema.
So 1 to 2 terabyte is complete data warehouse you're talking about, or specific data mart you will be you taking all the data to your reports?
Yeah, we are taking all data into the reports.
So you want historical from 1 to 2 terabytes.
Yeah, so this is so not just a single table reporting.
I know. Multiple.
All the staging tables and everything included. Then we have 1 to 2 TB of data.
Okay. So in the understanding of the interest of your requirement, which one you should follow and why? Should we go for Snowflake or should we go for Star?
I mean, for me, I feel star schema is might be the way for us to go, because one thing is that we don't have like dimension to dimension, like which is relationship which is there in like 3NF form. That one we don't have. So that's one thing. And performance wise also, we what we going to require is very fast reporting.
Okay. So just to let you know, if you're using Power BI, where do you think Power BI should fall into? Star or Snowflake?
Star, I think.
They actually use both, but Star is more better. And even though you don't have a Star schema, normal relational data, they will still do programming. I mean, they still can show you dashboards.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Good. Any question? Then we're going to start the exercises.
Can we go through all slides just at one go? Like,
Sure. So we understood data normalization. Why do we need them? Right? So we have first, second, third form, followed by what is denormalization and how do we do that? So here you have a donor and you have a project. Two different, table. Projects.
Bhushan, one question means, can you go back to the previous slide, the second normal form and the third normal form? Can you give an example? Because team was asking for it.
Yeah. So second normal form. So if you talk about employee table, for example, right? So employee ID and employee code or employee name is most important. So your primary key would be your employee code, isn't it? Or employee ID. In your company, what do you use? Employee code or employee ID? What do you use?
ID.
ID.
So employee name is very much relevant. Is it a prime column?
Yes, it is.
But if I ask you which project you are in, is it a prime?
Yes, it's a prime.
No. You can work on multiple projects. Is it important if you go for, let's say, talk about a salary slave or linking it to your performance? Does projects come in place? I can't see project-wise performance.
No, it doesn't.
If they go for appraisals, what to do? Will they go for project-wise appraisals or they'll go for overall appraisals? So think from that point of view that which column I want to put it in this table, which is very prime, next to the primary key, and which I can put it in the next table. Right? So if it is a part of a primary column based, then it should be the same prime. This is called prime attribute. If they're not part of a primary, they can push it in another table, which is non-primary attribute. So project name, project is a secondary, right? When HR will get to know, first they'll get to know your demographic information. Demography, understand?
Yes. Our
Demography,
address and location specific information.
mostly in same table. Even that we can split it. As I said, right? Address we can split it. But even though keeping in one place, that's still okay. Logical. That's how the traditionally people were doing it. Now this life is different. So also tables are being also split in multiples. So is your second form is clear?
Indra, can you go with that example which you had mentioned in that notepad where you are mentioning ki Indra Bhushan is working at Deloitte company?
Sure. I think that's
already ready. Yeah, you have it in notepad.
That's been deleted. Yeah. So if you go for like working for Dell with 10K in India on DWH project. Okay, now you tell me. If I normalize, how will normalize this?
Yeah, like we went like employee ID, employee name would be first. We'll list out all the columns, right?
Not attribute. So first, so when you go for a kind of a data modeling, so we have three things I'll talk about: conceptual, logical.
And physical.
Are you guys aware with this?
Yeah, it was there in slide, no? Conceptual, logical.
So let me explain a bit so they'll have a fair idea. So in concept, what you do, you only define entity and their relationship. Clear? It's just
Okay.
a concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about that. I don't know what column, what entity. Now, once this is done, once I know what all entity, so in this, let's define conceptual. It's a good exercise. What is the entity you're looking for? You have employees here. Come on.
Yes.
Employer.
Huh?
Employer.
Organization or whatever.
Organization.
Yeah.
Organization to रहेगा ही because we'll have only one organization.
And project name.
Project. What else?
Salary.
Location.
Country.
Salary.
Salary is you mentioned, no? 10K a year in that. Yes.
They call grade. Grade will have salary, right? Which grade falls into?
Yes.
Country.
Huh?
Or location or country.
That is there, no? Location is mentioned.
Correct?
Correct.
And then how would be the join?
So employee and or
Master. No, this is master, right? This is master, this is master, this is master, this is transaction. Yes or no?
yes, yes, correct.
Everybody understood?
Yes, yes.
That is different story that the employee table becomes master for the other ones. For example, your attendance, right? That becomes a master here. Anyway.
Yeah, in this case, it will be a transaction, correct?
Yeah, what is the next level? Once conceptually you decide, so this was the problem you've given. This is a business statement. That's my business statement. Once you know them, what do you do?
Now,
Okay, so I would go ahead and I would write this. Business problem. And then how you doing a solutioning. You want to keep it in the chat window once I'm done? This will help you?
yes, yes.
So number A, you have conceptual data model. So this is a data model solution, okay? What data model? Relational and dimensional. Come on, help me out.
Dimensional.
Come on, man.
Relational.
It's a normal. I'm not doing reporting. It is just I'm trying to insert the data, right?
Okay. Yes.
Very simple. Relational in, dimensional out.
Okay.
Simple concept. Is it in or out? Tell me.
In.
Insert the data, right? That is relational. If it is out, out will also do. Don't worry. We do exercise, which you wanted to do it, but probably it's supposed to be done by you. But anyway, conceptual. What is next? Logical. attributes, which is filled.
A is not, you're talking about relationship
This
over here.
table. Come again?
I mean, this conceptual is not talking about relationships, right? As of now.
No,
Just
we
now.
know the entity relationship. No, only entity and their relation, how they will be there. See, I've understood, no? Master and transaction. So there's a relationship, no?
Okay. So relationship as in type of table which we are.
Yeah, you'll be having a relation. Your diagram will show relation. May not be the attributes. Right? Now, once it is decided, the logical relationship remains same. What is going to be the attribute? Employee ID, right? What will take? I'll take integer, right? I would like to have a primary key here also. Or forget about integer, just name it because it's not physical. Correct? Everybody.
Yes.
And then what would be the physical? Let's do that. This is integer, primary key, then employee name. I want varchar, right?
Yes.
This I also look for check constraints. We look for foreign constraints, right? Null constraints. Will I do that? The actual name of the table. So table name would be MST employee, right?
It will be TXN, right? Transaction, no? We are considering not a master, no? Employee.
According to this, yes, but if you see overall system, this is the master, right? Every time you're going to refer this. Logically, you're correct. But if I look for your attendance or your performance, do I need employee ID? Complete system need employee ID, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a master for me, no?
Okay.
Think from a logic point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you do, you need employee ID. First new company, isn't it?
Yes.
According to this design, yes, you're perfectly right. But you never know organizational project. What do you need? You go wherever, whether you have to go for a vehicle pass, whether you go for your salary, whether you go anything, you need employee ID. Right? So the same ID will go to the attendance and salary together. These are master table. There's a salary table. This is great. But there will be transaction table, right? Now what are transaction tables? Come on, help me out. We'll have salary, your attendance, your project. Project, I would say day to day, whatever activity you're doing. Make sense? Yes or no?
Yes.
Your gate pass.
That come under attendance.
No, gate pass is actually when you doing something, let's say taking a laptop or something out, no? Out and in. On the reception. Attendance is only your job specific. You come to the office and your attendance is there. No? Sometimes gate pass is there, but you're not doing attendance. You're not coming to office to, work. You may be chutti. Or maybe you're resigning a company. Correct? So anyway, wherever you go, so here, what you need? Isn't it not read employee ID? Come on, help me out. Do you?
Yes.
So what do you call? Master or transaction?
Master.
So that logically it should be a transaction data, but logically also it is a master data. Am I clear?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it here.
No, it's good. So this is what it is. Anyway, so this is what is your right now is your relational model. Okay, guys, everybody, please help me out. May I please request to please copy this from the notepad, and now I want you guys to prepare a dimension model for me. It's not copying, man. Did I copy? Why it's not comping, man? Hey, is it in limit, man? Oh, it's coming. No, oh, it's actually too big, man. I believe. Too big, too big. I want to get it from here. Gopal, because of big, it's happening, right?
No, I don't think so. You'll be able to copy.
It's not taking, man. Yeah, it's too big, Gopal. Okay. Abhi dekhiye. Are you able to get that?
You can attach file this also.
Correct. But are you able to get it now?
Mm.
Okay. Now I want two teams right away, and you guys have to create a dimensional model. Let's talk about a bit more on that, and that's going to be an exercise. Let me copy this. Get into Notepad. Come on, man. Here. What is the best application in your computer when you use them? Paintbrush, MS Word.
Excel.
The most you guys use in laptop. Come on, everybody.
Excel. Excel is the best.
Okay. How about else? You know what? I like calculator. इधर ही पैसे calculate करता हूँ मैं daily. So it's always be there. Okay, good. So here we take it over to next level now. So what I do is I'm going to save this and I'm going to keep it for your reference. Is that be fine for you? Let me know if that looks okay to you or you don't want to save it. Tell me.
No, it'll be useful.
Okay. So I would go ahead and I would say business case. Okay. So I'll say data modeling, design principle. Perfectly fine. Okay, you did one, right? Now, in order to get model, I'll help you. You guys have to create two teams. Gopal, Chinmay, please, you both take few people in your team right away. I'll give you 15 minutes.
In May, you decide. Whom do you want to take?
Gopal will both there in one team.
ऐसा मत करिए रे कहानी कैसे हो जाएगा other people has to learn. Hey Gopal, ये क्या है यार? People are leaving. They're not happy with me. What? I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. Where are people? Okay, good. They will do it from the Power BI, I believe, huh? Anyway.
Power BI, they will be. I think everybody will. In May, you take Harshal, Rajesh, Rohit.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to give you an idea, let's first, in your data model, what is the first thing you decide? Remember, step 1, step 2. Step 1, step 2.
The subject area.
Step 2, step 1. Come on, step 2. What KPI you need? 2B, yaar.
Yes.
2B. But उसके पहले भी कुछ है ना?
As is.
Yeah. So what we'll do as is. Okay, work कर लीजिए. Just to give me 1 or 2 lines or something. What are the areas you look into? Okay. Now 2B. Let's come on. Most important. In order to get my dimension model here, this is my business statement. Chinmay and Gopal, I need 3 KPIs from you both. Come on, help me out. Looking at this data, what are you gonna project with? What you want to look into? So let's say Gopal.
Cost to company.
1 minute. Gopal's KPI. What are you saying?
Cost to company.
Cost to company means what?
CTC.
Huh?
CTC.
अरे बाबा ये CTC क्या है? Employee का.
Employee का, yes, employee cost to company.
थोड़ा और सोचो यार, ये तुम लोग तो पैसे पे आ गए. What else?
यही से शुरू होता है.
चलेगा. I'm happy with that.
Number of days employee has
Attendance,
attendance, yes.
ratio, more technical.
Attendance, yes.
Last.
Third,
Role, job role.
हाँ? नहीं, सिर्फ गोपाल को बोलना है.
number of projects worked on.
Project ratio.
Project ratio.
ठीक है.
Yeah.
In my spelling is okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
हाँ, आप बताइए. Tell me, what do you want? Not I'd say same. ऐसा मत बोलना.
Gopal call out the meaty ones.
No.
Performance indicator can be.
Performance. Okay. ये मैं टेक्निकल वर्ड लिख रहा हूँ. I hope you don't mind, हाँ?
Yeah, sure.
Inventory details.
ये तरह थोड़ा चेंज किया गोपाल. हाँ, कॉस्ट ऑफ कंपनी, कॉस्ट टू द कंपनी पर एम्प्लॉय. ठीक है. और एम्प्लॉय वाइज, नॉट पर एम्प्लॉय. ओके. नेक्स्ट. बहुत बड़ा चीज छोड़ रहे हो यार आप लोग. फिर से पढ़ो. IB is working for Dell with 10K in India on DWS project.
Location-wise distribution.
Huh?
Location-wise, how many employees are there and what is location-wise distribution?
Location. How does it gives you a KPI, man? वो तो सिर्फ starts देगा ना.
At what location, how many employees are
How many
there?
employees per locations are you looking for? But that's not KPI, man. What else, Chinmay?
Companies, what?
Think more. See here, I'll show you. Okay, let me highlight you. Okay, I'll help you. Chalo.
Salary, employee salary, that's already done. No?
Okay, Baba, employee salary, एक employee का salary थोड़ी चलाओगे.
Okay, company revenue.
इसमें company revenue किधर है, Baba? Where is the company revenue?
No, it's
Company expenses.
That is you've written, no? पहला KPI तेरा वही है.
salary distribution ratio. Okay.
मैंने आपको दिया ना, ये hints किया ना. 10K. This is overall, no? Fine. This is a very specific distribution ratio. How much you're distributing to each different groups. This is overall.
Okay.
If you sum up them, you may get this. But these are two different KPIs. This talks about cost. This talks about distribution. What else?
Revenue generated to company. Revenue generated to company.
नहीं, इससे क्या revenue? ये क्या है? इधर इसमें क्या revenue generate हो रहा है?
Project completion time.
Baba, that is here. Performance scorecard.
Okay.
See, these are small word, huh? But a lot of big mean, huh? Don't take me wrong. Looks like आज ही complete नहीं हो पाएगा. आप लोग इसको homework करके लेके आओ परसों. What next? I want big one. मजेदार one. Give me a second, guys. I'm in meeting right now. I'll call you back. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Sorry, guys.
It can also be project-wise performance, right? For Dell. Yeah. So this performance is like maybe employee.
Scorecard.
Okay.
This is not company. This is employee. You want me to write that? Okay.
So, yeah, I'm saying he.
No,
like,
what you're saying is company performance.
yeah.
Employee performance scorecard. Cost of the company, standard ratio, project ratio. Are you missing something?
Employee distribution ratio.
Distribution ratio. For what? Project.
No, location wise.
Hey, location future. Location. Salary distribution anyhow you're taking in, right?
Resource-wise distribution.
Yeah, it will come with the location-wise, no? Department-wise, location-wise. Those are only dimensions.
Resource-wise distribution. Resource management.
KPI does
Number
not
of project work.
KPI talks about overall. How you want to see the KPI is up to you to decide, right? So what
Number
class?
of project work.
That is here. Attendance is here, project is here, cost is here, employee performance is there, salary distribution is there. Think more. Can I tell you?
Okay. Awards and recognition.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Based upon that, the statement which you mentioned, then okay.
Which one? Because you're allowed here, Baba. This is completely different. Recognition.
Right.
Awards and recognitions. What is have so far? Employee wise. Okay, guys. Now here we go. Exercises are there. This is what you have. Now you have to design. You got the tables now. You got employee, organization, project, location, grade. One more. Come on, attendance. Salary. What else? What else? Quickly.
Award.
In order to get your KPIs.
Award.
What is that?
Awards. Award.
Hours.
Award. Award.
Awards.
AW.
Okay, awards. Makes sense. I think awards के पहले एक और है. Correct?
Yes.
Without nomination, award will not happen. How many times you nominated and get the award? It is also important, right? Which you can get in KPI. Yo. So I've nominated thrice and I got only one prize. This also happens, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I want you to do step 1. So I want design principles to take with, and we are being actually using TOGAF, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
So I want this lead, Gopal and Chinmay. I want a PPT which talks about how you've taken, what are the consideration, what are the factors you've taken, and so on, right? And then I want to know step 1, what you doing it. Am I clear? And step 2, what you doing it. That is also clear, right? And 3, I need a gap. You know how the gap should look like? So you're going to write something like this. Awards. So here we go. This is how it looks like. I'll say description. On PPT, there's one column. Another column is as is. Right? How you doing it? Then another column what you wanted to achieve to be. To be में क्या आएगा? The KPI, no? Guys, hear me out. Is it clear? Guys, everybody.
Yes.
And last, the gap. Or what is the gap you find and what is the solution you're giving? Gopal and Chinmay, do you think this exercise may help you or your team? क्या बोलते हैं? Will it help you? Yes or no? So these three things I need. Number one, this is design. I would say not only design, I would say consulting. Consulting. If you use it to graph as consulting, you can use that. Okay, so this is one. Then I need to do design. Now is the design, actual design. Design data model. Design data modeling that you're going to choose what? Are you going to choose star versus snowflake? Okay. Guys, are you clear? Gopal and Chinmay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then I want, when I say data model, so what all you do design? You do a data model, right? Then you design your little bit of estimates, but don't go for that level. But yes, data modeling is one. And then I can go for your attributes. And you go for little details. Within the data model, you can talk about conceptual, logical, and physical. Make sense? And before then going to there's a zero. You need to give me a relation. It's called entity relational diagram. You know what does that mean? The tables, how they've been linked together, right? Like a PPT, like this. Okay. Okay. This is going to give you a better idea to understand this. You can take it in Google, no worries. Please go ahead and use it. You feel free. It's an open book. How do you think this looks? So this is going to be helping you or not? Please help me out. This exercise.
Yeah, I think it will.
So if I go here from your computer, and then I'll go to my PC, Detroit, not like D, I have somewhere else. Here, Power BI, business case. What is this mean? Where it's been saved, buddy? It's not saved here. What's saved here? So now next week on next day onward, I'll be going for Power BI, but before that you finish it and then we move to Power BI. Nothing in hurry. BI business case. Okay. Can we download that, everybody? Chinmay and Gopal, you have to then do that. So this is the actual story. And then we'll have similar stuff for a sales one also. On just to help you, I would have, if you want a data set, Power BI, sample data and data sheet I have is this. This. No.
Yeah, push this in Google Drive.
Come again, the sample data, or you want
The business case, because I can only see the
download
PPTs.
the chat window? It's not there.
It's not. I'm not able to copy it from the chat.
It's there in Gopal data modeling design principle file is there in the
There should
data,
be a file.
and can download that.
I would also like to give you one small simple sample data, CSV, this. Please find out. Okay, data sheet is also given to you. If you wish to take data from here, you can increase your dimensions and facts if you wish. So it has date and it has the sales. Okay, how do you find this training was today? Data modeling, the actual one. Guys, please let me know.
Yeah, for me, actually, I mean, my understanding yesterday was better as of today. Maybe I need to go through things once again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Always welcome. I will not comment anything because it's a new for you guys. So definitely you have to put a little more effort. And you please take out recordings one and again. If you have a question, feel free to come back.
Okay.
How about other guys? Team?
Yeah, it was good. Let's see what other team members have to say.
Okay, good. Other guys, please help me out.
Tejas.
Yeah, it was good. We'll go through it again. If any have doubt, we'll talk to you.
The question and this exercise will help you.
Yeah, same for me. I will go through it again.
Sure. Take your time, sir. You guys have a, ultimately understand has to be there. So once again, good that we have taken a lot of good session, at least for data modeling is done. So we have done with the basics. We'll jump next day after this data modeling is done. I would probably have to take some time to understand and make you understand. Hopefully that next session, which it more utilized. Give me the date, 26/27, 28, which is Friday. No worries. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th is the last, right? Okay, ho jayega. No worries.
Yes, 7th is last.
Right. So on that note, let's meet up on day after tomorrow. Happy Independence Day, everybody, and Bharat Mata ki jai. Okay.
Yeah.
See you soon. Take care. Happy Independence, everybody. Enjoy.
Happy Republic Day.
One thing,
Republic Day.
means everybody has to install the SQL Server before they come for the Power BI training.
If you have it, then fine. I can use Excel sheet also, but if you have that, it will be more benefited.
Okay.
I can give you Excel sheet to work with, but if you have it, it's better. I can, or either I can tell you how to connect. I have with me in my system, but if you have this already, you're able to know how you connect with the SQL. It's better for you. Right?
Okay.
Not recommended, but it's good to have.
Yeah.
Okay, cool guys. Have a good time. See you day after tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Good day.